If you are enjoying this podcast and other podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon Shop. Awesome t-shirts and mugs from your favorite shows so you can tout your podcast pride, all while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. And make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. So shop now at dragonwagonshop.com and get your dragon swag on.
To this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's myth understood.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us in another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her, Sarah Oliver. Today, we are joined by someone who is joining the pantheon of people who have been on more than one episode.
Yeah!
Yes.
Natalie, she is here again, bringing her witchy self and her witchy shit and her knowledge of astrology.
Yeah.
Natalie.
For those keeping track at home, that pantheon includes my father, Bob Bianchi. It includes Ken Brown. It includes
That's right.
Miata Labile.
Oh.
And our very own producer, Jake Lloyd.
Da, da, da.
I feel honored.
Beautiful. Natalie, as you remember, is an actress, and she is a witch. And you can hear her on Sirius XM playing an amazing tarot card reading character, Chloro.
I'd say more than playing, she becomes.
She becomes.
I do become her in a second, and I can get out of her instantly.
What's the show they can find you on?
I'm sorry?
What's the show they can find you on?
The Michael Yo Show. It's
Oh.
Sirius XM channel 105.
Yeah. And even though Chloro is a character, you give real tarot readings on
I do.
air.
That's how it all happened, because I'm
It's
an
real.
actual tarot reader. And
Yeah.
then I thought, oh, I'm a comedian, so I just mixed the two worlds together. And then Grotto was born, but I do exist.
Because everyone
You do.
wants to be
I can
found.
touch her. Wait.
Wait!
Everyone wants to be told that they'll never find love or happiness, but with a comedic spin.
Yeah.
Real readings, real comedy.
Yeah.
That's the Olive Garden.
Wow.
Grotto loves the Olive Garden.
Well,
My mom just sent me a $50 gift card to the Olive Garden yesterday for my
Lucky.
birthday.
that's incredible.
Really? I want to go with you.
All right, let's go. I haven't been in like 10 years. Let's go.
I'm going. I'm so excited.
Oh, she's gone. Bye, guys. We almost had a guest today.
Oh, man. Do you know what I wish?
Yes.
That we were sponsored by the Olive Garden.
Oh, yeah. When you're there, it's a spaghetti time.
Well, Natalie, I'm really happy to have you back on today's episode, specifically because we are talking about the mythology that surrounds the Zodiac, constellations.
The Zodiac Killer today.
The
Gonna
Zodiac
fucking
Killer.
Mix it up.
It's gonna get weird. We're only gonna cover the first 6 of the traditional 12 Greek zodiac, because as I was looking things up, I said, oh, well, I covered a lot of these kind of already, gearing up to this point, because things already happened. Like Hercules did labors, and some of those labors are constellations. But I think as soon as I started digging into some of them, I was like, wow, there's actually a lot more of a story here than I anticipated.
So this is going to be a dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun, to be continued. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I guess it won't be very much of a dun dun dun, because I've warned you about it already. It'll be a dun.
We're still going to end it on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Natalie, I almost just called you Chloro.
It happens.
You're probably aware of the first zodiac, the first in line, which is
Aries.
Aries.
That's me.
Yeah, Sarah's an Aries.
That's me.
And Sarah's birthday is also coming up.
It's coming up for me.
Yeah.
I hope I get a box of chocolates.
Is that what you want?
Well, that's what you got for your birthday.
I got a box of
From
chocolate.
Austria.
Oh, yes. how quickly I
The way
forgot.
she said that too. It's like, ooh, why? It's like, what about chocolate?
Paul got a special birthday delivery, guys, so I'm expecting a lot.
Yeah.
Venmo me.
That'd be the best.
Just get Venmoed random dollars. Yeah.
If
would be.
if everyone who listened to this episode Venmoed you $1, that'd be a pretty good
That'd be
haul.
pretty great.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
really nice. Well, so Aries is the first sign of the Greek zodiac, and it marks the beginning of spring and the start of the new cycle of life. If you're listening and you're like, I don't know what my zodiac sign is, I'm also going to tell you that Aries is, and Natalie, you can confirm with me, this is March 21st to April 20th.
Yes.
So if you're born in those days, you are an Aries. I don't know anything more than that. Natalie actually sat down at a cafe with Sarah and I and told us all about like what our sun sign and our moon sign and our like what I'm in, like if I'm a Lilith cusp, like all this stuff
Yeah.
that I don't know anything about.
I
but-
don't remember either. I need to write this shit down next time.
It's so funny. And sometimes I memorize my friend's sign so I can help them.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh well, this is her sun moon, so she's gonna need me around this time. It's like, spread that time. So you have your sun, your moon, and your rising is what people don't really talk about, because a lot of times people say like, oh, I'm a sun this, and I don't really connect to my zodiac sign. That happened to me. I'm a Capricorn sun, and for a really long time I didn't feel like a Capricorn. I really always connected for some reason to like Scorpio stuff. For some reason I was like, why I'm not a Scorpio.
because you're
And then-
emo.
Yeah.
I thought they're sexual.
Well, that too.
They're sad about being sexual.
Emosexual. Yeah.
And they're like, really obsessive about things, chloro. But I ended up finding out that you have your sun, your moon, your rising, and the moon is the sign that represents like your emotions and how you express them, how you even express yourself, how you nurture others. Then you have your rising, and your rising is what actually I feel is like what people mostly live more their life like, because it's the personality that you've taken on for the world, and it's the one that the world like defines for you, And so mine is an Aquarius. So that was like really cool, because when I figured that out, it also made sense with everything I'm doing now. Like I moved out here to LA, and I was like, okay, I'm a Capricorn. Like I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make it. Like that's what's up. Right. But they had these other sides of me that wanted to come out, and they didn't know how to merge together. And that's kind of how I did what I did with being like a comedic character on the radio. Was I took my sun, my moon, my rising, I mixed them, and I created this like little thing. And that was like for me how I could launch my success.
You have to add yeast to make sure you're rising, right?
Yes, just
Put it in the proving drawer.
We watch a lot
We watch
of
a lot of British Bake Off.
yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah, because so I'm an Aries, as you know, and then my mom is too. And I'm like, oh yeah, my mom's an Aries, but
Your moon's in Pisces. though.
yeah.
I remember
So
this.
that's why I'm just a little more chill.
You have like I told you, you have a very wise, like compassionate side to yourself. Like you give very good advice. You know, to give very sage advice to those who need it. You see the two sides to everything, which is why you can be pulled to so many different directions. So for you, it's finding the balance within all those sides.
Oh.
Yeah. But you're very, very sage advice. Like Pisces moon is one of the Pisces sign in general. They pick up a little thing from every piece of the zodiac. That's why they're the wisest.
Oh.
So they get one little thing from each sign, and then they get to be like, okay, so I have all of this to give to you. So look at her drinking her little kombucha with pride.
It's weird that she got such a little kombucha too. It's like in a thimble.
A
tiniest.
wise woman drinks no more than she needs.
All right. Well, let's get into the story of Aries. Aries is the golden ram, and the story begins in the kingdom of Bisaltia upon the northern coast of the Aegean Sea. The king of Bisaltia was Bisaltes, which I'm probably butchering again. It's Bisaltes, which
Listen, I'm a Cuban. I don't know. That was great to me. That was beautiful. That was
Sounds like
English.
it seems like Basaltes to me. He's the mortal son of Gaia and Helios, and if you remember, Helios is the son of Hyperion and Thea, and thus is Gaia's grandson. So just grandson and grandma getting it on and making this king, and his kingdom was and the people who lived there, the Basalte, were all named after this king. So, really thought highly of himself.
Basaltians?
The Basalte.
The basalte. Oh, okay, like cacti.
Yeah.
Basalti.
The most relevant thing about King Basaltes, though, was the fact that he was father to a beautiful daughter, Theophany. And she was so beautiful, suitors came across the ancient world to flock to attempt to woo and wed her. She was so beautiful, not only did mortal men lust after her, but also a god. Which god?
Zeus.
Wrong.
Aries.
Wrong.
Apollo.
Wrong.
13.
13?
Apollo 13.
I'm just gonna throw in Aphrodite for fun.
Not Aphrodite, no. Poseidon.
Oh, he doesn't count.
He doesn't count? Why?
'Cause he's a water
It's like
god.
yeah, he's a surfer bro.
He can't do anything. He's just in and out of the water.
Poseidon decided that he was just by being salty.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh.
I saw it. I wish I was filming that part. The look in his eyes.
I did.
He's like, I'm gonna hurt them.
Um,
I know.
Poseidon decided that in order to have his way with her, rather than,
Ask her on a date.
talk to her, see if she's interested, was that he had to abduct her.
Naturally, because that's how it always works.
Yeah.
I've been abducted many times, haven't you, Sarah?
I'm abducted right now. I don't want to be here.
So Poseidon threw rocks at her window at night. And I was like,
Hello.
hello,
Who's out there?
it's me, the ocean.
The ocean.
Well, Poseidon, rather.
We. You are a piece of the ocean. The ocean's speaking to me.
Well, here, let me be a man.
Oh, gross.
Wait, let me be a better looking man.
Oh, hello.
Come with me.
No, thank you. I was sleeping.
Well, let me have your hand.
Ow,
Abduction sounds.
Those are good sound effects. Abduction sounds.
So soon, Poseidon and Theophany were on the island of Cremissa, and there he proceeded to have sex with her. And the disappearance of Theophany caused a stir in Basaltia, and soon the suitors left behind. They were like, well, we have to find out where she went, and they come to the island of Cremissa. Cremissa was not a desolate island. There was already a city there. There was a populace, and in order to confuse the chasers of the suitors that were after her, Poseidon transformed himself into a ram and Theophany into a ewe. And
Into a U?
a ewe, a female sheep.
Yeah.
I was expecting a response from that. That's why I was silent afterwards. 'Cause
I know what a U is, so.
I didn't know what a U was.
oh, see, that's why I waited.
He expected me to be dumb.
Um,
But you didn't expect it of Natalie.
He also turned the inhabitants of Cremissa into sheep as well. So
To use as well.
ewes and rams.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
I'm
what?
trying to use it in a sentence. I remember it.
So this is him being undercover?
Yeah, he's being undercover.
Can't just go back into the ocean?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
When the suitors landed
Rules
on
for transformation. That's my question.
Mhm.
when the suitors landed upon Cremissa, they found no Theophany and no people at all. And instead, they just found an island full of sheep and also presumably sandals and clothes, and it looked like everyone was raptured. It
Yeah.
was just like
Left behind.
the suitors were like, man,
Just hit this, just the sheep and Kirk Cameron.
wow, what's gonna and Kirk Cameron? He was left behind.
Yes, from the Christian
From the
films.
90s movie.
I thought that's what you were saying, but you know what happened? I literally was like, your Christian's going to show. Don't go and start telling people you had to watch that whole series when you were a child.
I may regret this sidebar, but what are you talking about?
So
Okay.
after Growing Pains, Kirk Cameron as
Got really Christian.
super Christian and just straight up
was
did
he always Christian?
movies. No, after Growing Pains.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what
He said it was because of everything he went through and stuff. He had to
All the
find
growing
God.
pains that
Yeah,
he
he
went through?
spoke at my church once, Calvary Chapel. Fort
Oh,
Lauderdale.
really?
What?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and DJ Tanner from Full House.
It's his sister, yeah.
Yeah. Candace Cameron. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Their sister and brother didn't realize it.
But
Yeah.
so he made that book series Left Behind into like a 4-part movie. And
Where
it's,
he was left behind and
yeah,
everyone
he's
else was
left
raptured.
behind and everyone's raptured and a couple people are left behind and it's like,
The
what do we
sinners.
do? And then it's like the devil comes up and, you know.
And they had to go to the mountains and hide. And, there was all the government was killing the Christians and they were finding YouTube
Should we
clips.
watch it for bed movie night?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say for Misunderstood. I was like, I find nothing relevant so far, but
No, I
I'm
find that section of the Bible to be a myth.
well, great. So instead of just leaving and being like, well, there's just sheep here, they decided to sustain themselves and set up camp, and so they started eating the animals.
Oh,
What?
so you didn't think that part out?
I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Poseidon,
Didn't
who
give a
was
fuck.
inspired by this humans eating former humans, was like, how can I make this more horrific?
Oh my god.
So he decided to transform all the suitors of Theophany into wolves.
Okay.
Yeah, when I first read it, I was like, then he transformed the people who were sheep into wolves so that the wolves killed the suitors. Like, that's where I thought it would go, but no, he decided to just make that problem worse and turn the suitors into wolves, so the wolves were going to eat the people anyway. It's very weird.
That's so weird.
So he and
What?
Theophany then turned back into humans and or
Laughed
human-shaped
and
people.
laughed and laughed.
After causing the death of countless innocents on Cremosa. Then they escaped and they went to another island and he stayed with her for like a week.
There's no logic there.
But of course,
No.
the relationship with Theophany didn't last very long.
Why?
Because they had nothing in common other than her PTSD.
Yeah. That can keep people together for a long time. Trust me. I know.
The brief relationship between Poseidon and Theophany would produce one child. What child was this? What child
It's
was
going to
this?
be a ram, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aries the ram.
It was, a golden ram named
Clive.
Creus
Oh.
Chrysomelus.
Creus Solomus.
Chrysomelus. Chrysomelus.
It's nowhere in anything you said. Good.
I'll go with Creus, though. Creus, the golden ram, makes his appearance again in a myth that I mentioned several episodes ago, where he was, and let me know when you remember this. He
Yeah,
was sent
If
by the cloud nymph Nephile. Why did I say that? Like Nephile, to rescue her children, Helle and Phrixus, who were being sacrificed by their jealous stepmother Ino.
Oh yeah, I remember Phrixus.
Yeah. Creus flew and whisked them away.
So he's a magical goat.
Yeah, he's the son of a god.
Mhm.
But why was he born as a ram?
Because it was when he and
Was she back in her human form and she gave birth to a ram?
yeah. So the
Oh,
idea is that
really?
they
Conceived as rams.
they conceived as sheep, and then she turned back into a human, and then popped out a little.
That sounds so
sheep.
painful.
That's a really painful birth.
Yeah.
I would really reconsider everything about
But
childbirth
baby
after
lambs are
that.
so cute. Babies is a toss of the dice. You're gonna get a cute baby, it's gonna be kind of gross. Lamb 100%.
I'm just thinking
Beautiful.
about the rams that are going to come out.
No, they get those later. Unless he was born straight up in his god glory.
No, I think he was a golden baby lamb,
yeah, that's cute.
and I bet hooves are not hard
Oh, they
when
are.
a baby is born.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, because like they come out as little creatures and they can instantly walk.
Yeah, well, that
Oh.
Only
sounds like it's gonna hurt
humans
a
take
lot.
like 20 years to become an actual human.
I feel like they might be a little soft from just like being inside the body, and then they
I'm a
harden.
ranch person.
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense. They're getting ready. They're out there. They got to
Yep.
start walking.
Same for giraffes. Giraffes pop out and then they are like, fucking stand up. You're a giraffe now. Let's go. You got no time in nature.
Right. So when Creus went to rescue these children, he is still ram sized, and so Phrixus held onto the horns and was like, "Wee, I'm being rescued." But Helle, his younger sister, had nothing to grab onto.
What about tail?
Maybe, but whatever. She fell off and she fell to her death, which is why that part of land in ancient Greece is called Hellespont because that's like where she fell and died.
This was part of a myth?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
So Creus did a half-assed job saving them because
He did what he could. You're given the body you're given.
yeah.
You know, and he didn't ask for this little stumpy back.
Phrixus managed to hold on to the fleece of the golden ram, though, and after a long flight, the son of Natalie, who Phrixus was, landed safely on the land in Colchis. Then Creus told Phrixus what he must do next. He was like, hey, Phrixus.
Yes, beautiful lamb. I'm just crying because of my sister.
Well, you have to do something next.
Yes, I'd like to grieve for a while, if you don't mind.
No, right away. You must do this.
Oh, she was my only friend.
You have to kill me.
What?
You have to kill me in honor of my father, the god Poseidon.
What? That sounds weird. I could write a letter on your behalf. saying
No, you must
you did a great job.
slit my throat and bleed me out right here.
It's a good thing.
Knock, 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 knock.
Yes?
Sorry, that's my ringtone.
Oh, answer your phone.
Hello?
Phrixus, it's your conscience. Are you sure you want to do this?
No, I don't want to do this. This ram saved my life.
I'm sorry, is your conscience calling you on your cell phone?
Excuse me.
Okay.
One moment, please. I'm roaming in this area. I can't be on the phone long.
Mhm.
I don't want to do this, but I feel as though I must because, you know, it's ancient Greece. It's weird. Let's do it.
And so, yeah, Phrixus not only kills him, but then he skins him. And he comes into the possession
Phrixus Bolton.
of the golden fleece.
Wow.
Phrixus then presented
Sold separately.
Phrixus then presented the fleece to King Aedes, who placed it in a sacred grove until Jason and his Argonauts came to take that fleece.
And what the fleece had? What kind of powers?
The fleece didn't really have any powers.
Just look good.
It just was. It was the skin of a child of Poseidon, rather.
Why did he decide he needed to be murdered?
Yeah.
Because it was to honor his father Poseidon, and his time as a creature living on land was done.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
I always feel like my time's come.
Um,
But you never will cut my throat.
once Jason completed his mission, that's what you think. Poseidon put the ram's golden fleece, his son's skin, up in the skies, and where it appears today as the constellation Aries. If you're wondering why it's called Aries, Aries is Latin for ram. That's it.
I knew that. And I knew that something didn't like Aries run away from something. Maybe it was something else. I thought there was a running away thing. That's why I kept thinking Aries was showing up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's so cool. I didn't know that was his skin.
Yeah, Aries is the golden fleece, a very coveted thing.
I don't want to be an Aries anymore. Give me a cooler sign.
Do you feel like a coveted thing?
I hate,
I want to hang you in a sacred grove.
I know. I hate this story. I mean, I hate any time an animal's dead, especially when he's like, "This will make my dad happy." Parents, complicated.
I mean, also Poseidon just like wanted his son to be sacrificed so that he could live immortal in Mount Olympus. So it's like, and probably not as a ram.
But you know, he gets all up in arms when some little Cyclops son, you know, who's a psychopath living in a cave playing with men with dolls. When that guy gets what's coming to him, he's like, I will ravage these people for 10
Well, because it
years.
wasn't his idea.
That's true.
I will say, hearing this story and then thinking about what the sign Aries means, which is go, do, like make it happen. That's what the theme of this story definitely was.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Make my blood explode out my neck.
Well, so now we're moving on to the second sign in the Greek zodiac. The sign is April 21st to May 21st. It is Taurus.
Taurus.
Now, what's interesting about Taurus is that the identification of the constellation of Taurus is very old, and in fact is likely the oldest constellation. And when I first learned constellations and was told, like, this is supposed to be this, and this is supposed to be this, when I saw Taurus, I was like, oh, yeah, I see the bull. It's like being told that, like, Cassiopeia is a W, and it's like, yeah, that's the throne that the Queen Cassiopeia is sitting on. I was like, sure. I don't really see that, but seeing the big horns and like the little clumping of stars that make up the head all together, it's like, yeah, Taurus looks like a bull, and apparently looks like a bull across many, many, many cultures as well.
Wow.
Whereas like not all the zodiacs are like that. Certain scholars believe that Taurus is represented in a cave painting in the Hall of Bulls in caves in southern France. And these caves are dated to roughly 15,000 BC.
Oh, look what I just made with my little finger paint.
This is particularly Taurus as opposed to just like a painting of a random bull, because it's accompanied by a depiction of what is thought to be the Pleiades, which very clearly paints that correlation together. The Pleiades are the Seven Sisters star cluster that sits roughly on the bull's shoulders. The name the Seven Sisters has also been used for the Pleiades in languages of many cultures, including indigenous groups in Australia, North America, and Siberia, which suggests that the name has a very common ancient origin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. To the Egyptians, the constellation Taurus was a sacred bull that was associated with renewal of life in spring. And to early Hebrews, Taurus was the first constellation in their zodiac, and was consequently it was represented in the first letter of their alphabet, which is not someone who speaks Hebrew, but it's Aleph.
Well,
Well, we hope we said it right.
Yeah. So
Makes sense.
Taurus, the myth itself, I'm not going to go into great detail of, because we covered it in the myth of Theseus.
fuck, we did.
Poseidon sent a snow white bull as a gift to King Minos in Crete. This was the same bull.
This is the horny bull?
Yeah, Queen Pasiphae fell in love with this bull
Hell yeah.
and made a contraption so that she
Yeah.
could have sex with it.
Yeah.
It was
Taurus is
See,
very
I want to be a
forward
Taurus.
Tauruses are very forward with what they want, and they're like aggressive about it, which is it's,
All right.
yeah.
Make me a little dick hole. Is that what he did?
Yeah, well, yeah, they built like a bull out of or a heifer out of wood. And then they cut a hole in the back, and it had a latch, and so she could get inside and be protected from the bull while it rammed into her.
Boy, do I not like imaging this.
You know.
And so then
So then he had her cut his throat.
no,
That's
thus
the only way to get in the sky.
thus she produced the Minotaur though with this act, and
That was a painful birth.
why do you think that? Because I don't think the Minotaur was born with horns either.
The fuck yeah, you was.
She was born on a farm, remember?
I've seen Minotaur.
I forget.
I got a cousin.
Minotaurs are always bigger in Texas too. So the Hercules was commanded to fetch the Cretan bull as one of his 12 labors. So you could have used that on the test last time.
Fucking test. Deleting that episode.
Upon completion of this task, he set the creature free, and it found its way to the Athenian town of Marathon, where it laid waste to the whole countryside. So great job, Hercules.
Wait, what did Hercules do with the Minotaur?
He did nothing with the Minotaur.
Oh, the white bull.
Yeah, he did this with the Cretan bull. There, it was finally destroyed by the hero Theseus. So that's what happened to the Cretan bull, and that's how the Cretan bull died. Theseus,
Hercules was like, go,
yeah,
be free.
be free. Yeah, I
You're
just
not
had
a
to
sex slave anymore.
exactly. And Theseus was like, not on my watch, and had sex with him and killed him. And so Poseidon sadly placed the corpse of another one of his children up in the heavens. So that
Wow.
was
Well, how's he related to Poseidon?
well, because Poseidon gifted the bull to King Minos, so it's probably was created like immaculately by Poseidon. So Poseidon lost 2 children. They're the first 2 zodiac
So
signs.
he got his throat cut too, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
All right, seen a pattern.
So we're going to move on to May 22nd to June 21st, which is Gemini. The constellation of Gemini
The twins.
is the next sign of the Greek zodiac. It is linked with the story of the twin brothers Castor and Polydeuces, or more commonly known by his last Latin name, Pollux. And we know, because we've covered this story, I think twice already, but
Let's see what we know.
they're not twins in the ordinary sense because they had 2 different fathers. The story starts with Zeus, king of the gods, wanting to have an affair with Leda. So what did he turn into to romance Leda?
Swan.
Yes. In order to fool her, he transformed himself into a beautiful swan, which of course she was like, well, I wouldn't never have sex with the king of the gods, but I would have sex with that swan. So in time, Leda bore 2 eggs.
See, easy birth. I would give anything to have that be the way we gave birth again.
I mean, she
Fuck
knew
yeah.
What do you mean?
was
What do you
up.
mean again? This happened.
I'm a farm person.
So Leda bore 2 eggs. One of them contained a baby girl, Helen,
The other one was chocolate.
and the boy called Pollux. These were the divine children of Zeus. The other one opened up to reveal chocolate. The other one revealed another girl and boy, Clytemnestra and Castor. These were the mortal children of her husband, Leda's husband, King Tyndareus.
Wait, why did he get eggs?
You know,
Because if Zeus, if it's like they're saying, yeah, multiple sperm can impregnate you, because we don't understand anything in ancient Greece. Sure, but why would the other ones come out as eggs?
I don't know. Maybe it's like she had those 2 eggs in her already, and Zeus fertilized one, and Tyndareus fertilized the other.
Mhm.
I'm not sure though.
You know, maybe she was called to, at one point in her journey in this life, have relations with the swan. That's her body produced those eggs.
So, and then they slit her throat, and into the heavens she went.
And yolk came out.
Ew.
So, despite the fact that one brother was divine and the
Yeah.
other was mortal, the twins Castor and Pollux grew up to be inseparable. They did everything together and they loved each other dearly. And as a note, I feel like this is probably interesting to you because I know very little about astrology, but one thing I do know about Geminis is the idea of duality. So
Mhm.
to have one be divine and the other one be of mortal birth, it's like you're already painting that picture of complete polar opposites.
Yes. And it is what we deal with as people every day. And what Geminis deal with is
I always deal with being divine and not divine.
it's true. We are half divine and we are half not divine. We know that we can be the best version of ourselves and like lift up the world. And then we also know that
I
we
don't
could-
know that.
Yeah, she drinks her kombucha. She knows. And then we know we can tear it down. I think what's really cool is that they made the story so literal. And the fact that, like, you know, for Geminis out there who would be listening, I think it's their path in life. My theory is that they have to kind of show people that because they get it the most.
Well, so because they were so close, they were called by one name, the Dioscuri. As they were growing, they loved all kinds of sports. Pollux was particularly good at boxing. And if you recall during when we were talking about Jason and the Argonauts, that Pollux punched off a guy's head because he was just really good. Castor was renowned for his skill and daring on horseback. When Jason was recruiting the Argonauts to join him,
Punches off a horse's
when Jason was recruiting the Argonauts to join his quest of the Golden Fleece, they both eagerly accepted the invitation. During the expedition, they became famous for their ability to calm rough seas.
Just chill out.
Which once or twice threatened to capsize the Argo. Poseidon had made the twin brothers joint saviors of shipwrecked sailors and granted them the power to send favorable winds whenever they wished.
So why are they cool with mortal brother? Because normally in these stories they're like, you suck, little mortal. Why are they treated as equals?
Well, we'll get to that because they're kind of not. So even to this day, the sight of the stars, the Gemini stars in the sky, is regarded by sailors as an omen of good luck. So here's the dumb story of how they died. You ready?
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So Castor and Pollux aspired to marry the. This name is so hard. Leucippides.
Luscious lips.
I'm gonna say the Leucipides, the daughters of the white horse. Their names were Hilaria
All right.
and Phoebe.
Oh yeah, Phoebe.
Mhm.
I love this.
Both women were already betrothed to their cousins, who were also twin brothers. And their names were Lynceus, whose nickname was Lynx because he could see in the dark,
What the fuck? No,
And-
stay away from that guy. He's creepy.
and Idus, who had no nickname. He was just like a big guy.
I can't see when it's dark.
They both lived in Thebes, whereas Castor and Pollux lived in Sparta. And so one night they showed up in the dark and they're like, "Hey, ladies, I'm Castor and I'm Pollux. Come with us."
Mm,
We have weird boyfriends already.
yeah, and I have to wash my hair.
Well, Lynx is lame. Like all he can do is see in the dark. But like I'm divine, and my brother's not divine, but he looks just like me.
Prove it. Punch my sister's head off.
Wait! Prove it. Punch my sister's head off.
If you come back with me to Sparta, I'll punch both of your heads off. So, so they took them back to Sparta and made them their wives. And the women really have such agency in the story. They each had a son. Phoebe bore a child to Pollux, and Hilaria bore a son to Castor. And they began a family feud with the four sons of the families just end up hating each other because Lynx and Idus end up marrying other women, and then their children hate each other too. It's just like a
Oh, I thought you were
Oh, the
like,
cousins.
yeah. Mhm.
when you said Family Feud, I immediately thought everybody was playing Family Feud.
Survey
Yeah.
says.
The survey says they didn't do that. So
But the brothers are still cool.
yeah, the brothers
Yeah.
are cool with each
Feuding.
other.
It's the cousins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one day, though, even though they hate each other because you stole our wives in the night, they were like, "Hey, do you want to join us in Arcadia and raid cattle and steal other people's cattle?"
Vacation.
Yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, that sounds great." So they, after stealing a herd from these poor Arcadians, they're like, "All right, so you'll get half and we'll get half," and they're like, "No. Before we decide that, let's butcher, quarter, and roast one of these calves." And so I told you this is a real dumb story because it goes, I don't understand it.
You saw my eyes. I was like,
They cook up this calf, and as they're preparing to eat, Idus says, "Hey, what if instead of splitting this herd that we just stole from the Arcadians into like you two get half and we get half, what if because ultimately they're going to be it's split into four that way anyway, what if it's just split into two, like whoever eats their portion the quickest of food is gonna get."
Well, no, because that's insane. So let's just keep it logical.
And Castor and Pollux agree.
Well,
And-
that's on them.
Idus
I know.
quickly eats his portion because he's big. He's the big guy.
right.
And
You know what I can do in the dark is eat.
and then Idus is like, "Well, you guys agreed. You took our wives. We take your cows. Now we're even. Boom."
Okay.
But Castor and Pollux were annoyed. They were like, "That's not even. These cows are worth more than our wives."
Yeah. They're just women's.
We're
We want money.
I vow revenge. We are gonna get revenge on you for this duplicity. And they leave. So again, real dumb story.
Yeah, very dumb.
Sometime later, Idus and Lynx visit their uncle's home in Sparta. Their uncle was on their way to Crete, and so he left Helen in charge of entertaining the guests, which included both sets of cousins, as well as Paris, who was the Prince of Troy. Castor and Pollux recognized an opportunity to exact revenge and made an excuse that justified leaving the feast to set out to steal their cousin's herd back. Like, we really want those cows back. Idas and Lynx, Sarah almost broke a glass. Idas and Lynx eventually set out for home and leave Paris alone with Helen. Thus, this is how he so easily kidnapped her and set up the whole problem of the Trojan War.
Really?
Yeah. So meanwhile, Castor and Pollux reach their destination. Castor climbs a tree to keep watch as Pollux begins to free the cattle. Far away, Idas and Lynx approach. Lynx spies Castor hiding in the tree because he can see in the dark. And
yep, those eyes.
And they immediately understand what's happening. Idas ambushes Castor and takes his spear, chucks it into the tree, and Castor falls out of the tree with the spear in his neck, like bleeding out, dying.
See, it's always a throat.
Throat,
So
yes.
it's a throat injury.
You're right. So
Get you in the stars, baby.
maybe
Then
my neck pain.
and then as he's there, like bleeding out, he's like, Pollux, careful. And so Pollux then starts fighting and he punches Lynx's head off.
Yeah.
So both brothers lose their twin brother, and then Idas starts to fight Pollux, and Idas is just like really big and strong, and he's going in to strangle him. And Zeus stops watching his stories, and he looks out of his window, and he's like, "What's happening to my sons?"
Hey, you boys, break it up! And he gets the hose
Always
out.
too late.
Yeah, well, but his version of the hose is that he reaches into his receptacle of lightning bolts and chucks a lightning bolt down from Mount Olympus and strikes Idas dead, leaving Pollux the only one standing. Pollux is heartbroken, though, and sees his twin brother, who he loves, dying at the base of this tree, and he says, Zeus, father, please kill me. Strike me down with a lightning bolt as well. I can't bear to live without my brother.
If you keep interrupting my stories, I will.
Zeus was so touched by the twins' love and affection for his brother that he arranged for them to be together again. Yeah, so he killed him. No, they would divide their time between the heavens and the underworld, spending one day high up in Mount Olympus and the next day beneath the earth in the realm of Hades, because as Castor was mortal, he couldn't be granted full rights.
He gave him like realm custody rights.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
In further recognition of their brotherly love, he set their images among the stars as the constellation Gemini, so that they would never again be separated, and they stand out as two equally bright stars in a constellation of weaker stars. So,
Wow.
so that's Castor and Pollux. What's interesting is sometimes I see them depicted as a girl and a guy, but I think that's just to bring diversity to, and also like being a lady Gemini and seeing like
two
naked men representing you is like weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's such an interesting story too, because the theme of Gemini is love, and two is better than one.
Yeah.
And that's what that was the whole thing. He's like, I can't be alive without my other half.
his wife's like, cool.
Yeah, I know. She's like, well, I'm glad we had a nice time.
Well, so the next two are Cancer and Leo. Cancer is June 22nd to July 23rd. Leo is July 24th to August 23rd. These are both, I'm mentioning them both together because these are very short. Both of these were covered when we talked about Heracles. The constellation of the Greek zodiac known as Cancer is linked with the second labor, which was assigned by Eurystheus to kill the Hydra of Lerna. Sometimes the story goes that in the midst of Hercules' struggle, Hera ordered a giant crab to go and help the Hydra by digging its claws into Hercules' foot. Howling with pain,
Evil.
the hero stamped on the crab furiously, crushing it to death. Hera
She's a diabolical genius.
Hera was very grateful for its support in trolling her, like the bastard child of Zeus. And in recognition of its attempt to help her, she honored the crab by placing its image among the stars
Boy,
as
is
the
this
constellation
dumb.
Cancer. Yep.
Boy, is that dumb.
That's Cancer.
I
Explains
thought
why
being-
cancers are so emotional and crabby.
Yeah. Also, you're leaving out the part where he stomped the crab in the neck.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a throat injury.
crabs
No,
are
yeah.
like all neck.
Yeah, so
They're like
They are.
head, neck, and
like
legs.
football players.
hmm
I used to have 2 hermit crabs and they died. Like they killed themselves in their own little cage. It was really,
What?
really crazy. Yeah.
They killed
Rather than be
themselves?
your pet.
Well, they were technically my sisters. I didn't want to put it out there, but she brought
Oh,
them home. And
now
she-
I get it. Scarlet.
Scarlet? How did you know out of the 2? Scarlett's going to be like, this is the shout out I get. Scarlett's amazing. She's a wonderful person. It had nothing to do with that. It's just Scarlett, she just decided to raise 2 hermit crabs out of nowhere.
And now they're in the skies above us.
Yeah.
So, so Leo was linked with Hercules' very first labor, which was to capture the Nemean lion.
Oh, it's a lion. That's
According to the myth, Hercules managed to kill the beast by strangling it to death.
yeah.
Then he skinned the lion
Horrible.
and took its pelt to wear it.
Strangle? How do you kill someone when you strangle them?
Yeah, throw
The
it.
neck.
Throat?
What is happening?
How deep
right
does
now?
this thing go?
As well, I wish I could say it doesn't continue with Virgo, but it's going to.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do know that story.
when he was quite protected by his enemies with this lion pelt because the skin could not be penetrated by any known weapon of the time, whether
it's
made
lions.
of iron, bronze, or stone. Yeah, which is why he had to strangle it, because he couldn't. His sword didn't penetrate his flesh.
So how do you skin it then?
Good question.
Huh?
Oh.
After it's
He found the zipper.
he found the zipper. Yeah. After its death, the famous lion was put into the sky by Zeus, because Zeus was like, "Well, that was a good fight against my son. Here you go, champ." It's like that sort of thing where like your parents like really like one of your friends,
Mhm.
and you feel jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you.
So this also marks the second time that an animal is skinned that's up in the sky. So like not only is Leo the lion, but he's also a naked lion.
So really, the
it's-
the night sky is just like a tacky trophy room in a like a cigar.
It's a
smoking
graveyard.
But it is
Yeah.
a graveyard. But you
pet
know what?
cemetery.
Think of it this way too. Leos are all about ego, and they have to learn how to live with their ego and how to like balance it out. And also that means shedding your skin. So that is a huge part of the ego, like the Leo life, is shedding your skin. So I think that's. I mean, I didn't know that they actually did that in the story, but that's just interesting to me because that's something you talk about a lot in astrology.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all we
Rawr.
found. Rawr.
So our final of this episode, just doing the first 6, cliffhanger is going to ensue.
Dang.
It is we're talking about Virgo. Virgo is August 24th to September 23rd. A lot of people people when they're talking about astrology, they say they have strong opinions about Virgos because Virgos have strong opinions.
They do. Virgos are very. They see every little thing.
So Virgo is associated with Demeter and also her daughter Persephone.
Oh.
But
her.
additionally, the maiden Erigone. And
Who's she?
well, I wrote in my notes, and Sarah, you're gonna hate this story.
Oh, God.
What does that mean to you, Sarah?
She's gonna kill another animal.
Well, Erigone's not. Erigone in Greek mythology was the daughter of Icarius, who was the hero of
Not Icarus.
he was the hero of Attic-Deme, which is a township of Icaria. He was also a shepherd. Her father had been because a lot of people were
He
also
just got
shepherds.
all of this off his LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. He also worked at Disneyland from 2002 to. Her father had been taught by the god Dionysus to make wine,
All right.
but really, Dionysus was there to make time with Erigone.
Okay.
Because according to Ovid, Dionysus deceived Aragone with false grapes. That is, he assumed the shape of a grape cluster
I'm sorry?
to approach and seduce her.
No. No. No.
Hey. Hey, Aragone,
What?
what's going on?
Are you just being the grape sound effects?
Yeah, I did. Now you see the grape.
Oh.
Hey. You-
Good God. I'm not going to touch the grape cluster.
I-
What was it talking?
I'm delicious and ripe.
Drip, drip.
Why is it fucking moving at me?
I'm actually fermented. I'll make you
I
intoxicated.
grab this rake and I'll hit it.
Why is that her voice? Well, this seduction as grapes worked because Aragone was a lush. And
Hey, you know what I'm going to do with these fucking grapes? I'm going to get nasty with them. I'm going to shove them in my vagina.
How did you know?
Well, it's natural progression.
Because there's a classical painting of Aragone pleasuring herself with grapes.
What if one got loose off the vine and got stuck up there? I don't think so.
Well, that's what she did.
She's gonna get a UTI.
It's gonna get UTG.
Right when Natalie arrived today to record this episode, I was in the middle of looking something up.
And a grape
it-
fell out of her.
That's incredible.
Why would you tell everybody that?
That killed me. Well, what I looked up was that because I was typing in Aragone's name to look for art, and what came up was a kind of spider, the Aragone dentosa, and Aragone dentosa is Latin for table grape spider. So we clearly know that Aragone is super associated with grapes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah. Anyway,
This is the first time someone's turned into something non-sentient, though.
no, I mean Zeus has done golden rain.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Icarius was so proud of his wine that he gave some of his wine to fellow shepherds who became intoxicated. These shepherds had companions, and they saw their friends' drunken behavior of lounging about and acting like falling asleep, that they thought that they had been poisoned by Icarius.
Oh.
And so, acting out of anger and grief, they killed Icarius and buried him under a tree.
They didn't wait for them to sober up.
No.
Yeah, and people don't take a lot of time to plan back then.
Yeah. So Aragone went to find her father that morning, couldn't find him.
Dad, oh, I want you to meet my future husband.
Where's
Play
your
the grapes.
dad?
I'll need to rinse more first, but I'd like you to meet him.
Aragone consulted the help of her dog, Mayra.
Okay, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because all dogs know the way to heaven.
This is a creepy cartoon. This is like, what's the anime that's very sexual?
All of them?
Which one?
Aragone asked her dog, Mayra, to help her find her father.
If this dog gets it, I'm walking.
And Mayra guides Aragone to the tree where her father's been buried. And Aragone is so overcome with grief that she
sits and quietly mourns and makes peace. Files a police report.
Eventually gets on
tries to get on with her life.
She takes a rope, throws it over the branch of the tree, and hangs herself.
Oh, as long as it's herself, not the dog.
So
what about her great babies?
Her great babies? Well, but like I was again going to say, hanging herself again,
Neck.
throat.
Yeah.
Neck.
Mayra
The neck.
is so sad
Stop.
that Aragone and
No.
her owner died.
Nope.
That are died. That's what I
Or
said.
died.
My son has died.
That she leaps into a well.
But she's fine. There's just water in it. It's not very deep. So she gets back out. She just has a bath.
Yep. Okay, yeah, we'll just go with that. Then.
Okay.
Traveled into the well to a different world.
Exactly. It's Mario well.
Yeah.
So, because of this tragedy, Dionysus transformed himself back from being grapes, and
What did I do?
and sent a plague upon the land.
Uh-oh.
And
That's not his style.
he made all of the maidens of Athens in a fit of madness hang themselves.
Wait, what?
Yep, that's what he did. What did you just do?
Did you just spit out one for the women?
So anyway.
Oh, she's sick. Why are we calling it out?
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, then he took the bodies of Icarius, Erigone, and the still alive body of Mera, and set them among the stars as Boots, which is the shepherd constellation that includes the star Arcturus, Virgo, the Virgin Maiden, and
Who's a virgin?
The ones that hung themselves.
well, she only did herself with grapes, so she's still a virgin.
That counts.
She's a virgin too.
That
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah, and as well as Canis Minor, the lesser dog constellation with the chief star Procyon. So Mera entered the.
She's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. She's still up there alive.
Yeah.
Barking.
Yeah.
Um,
To the dog park.
That's crazy too. Also, Virgo is a sign of health. There's a lot of health issues with Virgo.
yeah.
Issues?
Yeah, health issues. Like if you're a Virgo, you might suffer of like health issues at first in your life or later on or something. You have to like watch it and be careful. It's like a sign where you have to be careful, one, with your body and not allow the outside influences to affect you, which is so interesting because that has a lot to do with the story.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that's the terrible first myths of the first 6 Zodiac.
Everything was so stupid.
Which one was your favorite?
No.
No,
No.
none of them were.
Okay, wait. So let's recap. We got the golden ram. That was pretty stupid.
Uh-huh.
But that's you.
Yeah, I'm pretty stupid. Then we had the bull.
Mm-hmm.
He just got murdered for no reason.
Yep.
He was a sex slave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sad. What was next? The twins?
Then it was the
Mhm.
twins.
That one was real dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that one's, I guess, if I had to pick a favorite, it's a cute one.
it's
It had a
cute.
happy-ish ending.
They
Yeah.
they visit each
Custody
other.
realm
They
rights.
still hang out. They still bro out. And then what were the other two? The tiny ones. The
Big
lion that
crab.
gets strangled. No way.
The crab that gets crushed by Hercules.
That one's just stuff. That one's my favorite. It's stupid. Hera is a moron. She never fucking thinks. I will summon something so horrible. A fucking crab.
And then that one, the virgin.
I mean, I loved the grape love story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about it later. Not in a second. way.
Look, are you going to drink a glass of grape juice?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. It's not sexual. I'm
What's
going
your
to go to
favorite?
Trader Joe's and get some grapes.
What's my favorite? Man, I think probably Castor and Pollux is
Yeah.
just because they have longevity to their story too,
Yeah.
especially if you include their adventures on the Argo together.
Boop-a-doo, brother adventures.
It's like the nicest episode of Black Mirror. That's
yeah,
what I would describe
it
that
is. It's like San Junipero.
one. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know which one I was going for.
Which one is your favorite?
That's what I was
Oh,
thinking
okay.
of. Well, my favorite, as in, it's the one I don't walk
So you
away.
like the crab one too?
Smoke, mirrors, smoke and mirrors.
You know what? I want to have an orgasm tonight.
But how?
Fruit.
Say what?
Smoke, mirrors, grapes falling.
Come to my fruit stand and don't eat anything that you find. Rub it all on top of or inside your genitalia. Do you want to orgasm and absorb vitamins?
Yes.
And shove this banana up your ass and Despair on your vagina.
That's Irrigoni's Sex Shop, the corner of 3rd and 1st.
Fairfax. Oh,
Do you take
Fairfax.
Venmo?
Yes.
yes.
Apple Pay?
Yes.
I feel like it sounds like we have never watched a commercial before.
God, I really haven't.
Yeah, it's been
No,
a while.
I love watching commercials now.
Do
And
you?
every
Really?
time I see a commercial, because you never get them anymore, and they're so bad.
Every time I see a commercial, I feel like it's someone I know now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
Yeah.
I never watch them because I'm always like watching Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need some commercials, Netflix. Give the people what they want.
Well, Natalie, it was so great to have you on today's episode. If we want to follow you on social media,
You can find me on Instagram, natcat, NATT_CATT. I do
Uh-huh.
post astrology stuff there if you watch my story.
Yes, she
things like that.
does.
And rituals to do underneath the full moon. Like I'll be posting one tomorrow for the full moon in Libra.
Oh, I heard
Ooh.
you were having people over and we weren't invited.
That's not true.
Called her out.
No.
Wow.
I got strong armed into doing something and now I have to start inviting and figuring out what I'm doing.
By the moon.
Huh?
By the moon.
The moon, yeah. The moon pulled
Yes,
her
the
in.
moon, the moon pull. No, you know how it is.
Yeah, I know.
People find out and just go, are you free tomorrow night? And then before you know it, I'm hosting a ceremony.
So find her on Instagram and force her to invite you to her house
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow night.
Yeah. And always you can find us at _mythunderstood on both Twitter and Instagram. And individually you can find Sarah.
At the
Wow, she just broke into a cough there.
at the Sarah Oliver
On Instagram
and Twitter.
and Twitter, and myself at the Paul Bianchi on Instagram as well. You can also check us out at mythunderstoodpodcast.com. And once you're there, you can visit the shop to see all kinds of
March.
What?
March.
Oh, I thought you said March.
Well, merch.
Well, you can find all sorts of merchandise, including designs that are made by yours truly, as well as Nymphimos art. And
Love it.
yeah. And hopefully more designs will be coming out soon. So you just keep an eye there. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Wow. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts as well.
Please rate and review us.
On Apple Podcast.
No, I'm seconding it. Please do it.
Wonderful. Well, as always, we are part of the Dragon Wagon Radio Network. Follow at It's Dragon Wagon on Twitter and Instagram, and show your support at dragonwagonradio.com/support to help out this wonderful independent podcast network.
For the wonderful independent people.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Was the name signed to the world's most famous plays and poems a pseudonym? Was the man from Stratford that history attributed the works to even capable of writing them? Who was Edward de Vere, 17th Earl of Oxford, and is there any chance he was the actual author of those legendary works? Who was the writer behind the pen name William Shakespeare? Join me, Stephen Sable, as me and my fellow Oxfordians set out to answer all of those questions and many more on Don't Quill the Messenger, Revealing the Truth of Shakespeare Authorship, found right here on Dragon Wagon Radio or wherever podcasts are found.
It's Dragon Wagon.